What about assignments? What do they do wrong in assignments? Why do they underperform? Why do people not get A grades for every assignment they put in? Again, similar to the examinations, people don't always read the instructions. You know, you buy something from, well, I can't say MFI again, or IKEA, or one of these shops, and it's all in pieces, isn't it? And it tells you how to put it together. And you have a go at it, and then if all else fails, you read the instructions. I think that's what happens sometimes with CIM assignments. People jump straight in and look at the question and don't fully read the first few pages of guidance notes, what they have to do. They don't read the questions, the tasks properly. So read the instructions and make sure you understand what you have to do before you make a start on it. They don't read the brief thoroughly. They don't really understand what it's about, what the key issues are that we're looking at. And they bend the brief to try and fit the content. I mean, the brief is very clear about what you're expected to do. But it doesn't quite match with my situation in work, so I'll sort of bend the brief to fit that. No, bend the work situation to fit the brief. You're not going to get marks for doing that. We see lots of variation where people actually try to sort of adjust the brief to fit their own organisation because, well, they've been working on this project anyway, so I might as well use that. It'll save me having to go through the whole process again because I've already got information on that. But it's not relevant to the brief that you're being given for that subject. They don't fully understand the task set. Again, it goes back to understanding command words. Sometimes if we don't understand what the command words are asking us to do, we don't understand what the tasks are asking us to do. It doesn't hang together properly. And dare I say, don't leave it until the last minute. Even though producing assignments does actually, we do have a very strict timetable to work towards, and I'm sure that if you've gone through it yourself, you will know there are deadlines to hit. It's amazing how many people will say, well, I work better under pressure last thing, and they'll leave it to the last possible minute. No, have a clear plan of when you have to reach certain stages by. It's bound to help. We come across lots of examples, evidence where people that clearly have put it together very quickly, almost the night before, and you think what they've done is pretty good, but they've missed bits out. They haven't quite seen this through. They haven't quite done this properly. Given more time, that could be a really good assignment. So plan out your time. Don't leave it until the last minute. Again, take note of the command words, exactly the same as in examinations. What are you being asked to do? And don't get into knowledge dumping, which is this awful disease people suffer from, I think. And I think it's a virus, actually, that gets passed around. Does that make sense? And what it is, you see a word you recognise, and you know all the theory, and you've spent ages revising it. You know it back to front, and you think, if I just dump all this knowledge in the paper, the examiner's going to think, aren't they clever? Don't they know lots of things? And you'll get lots of marks for it. What you'll get is an examiner that goes, oh, not another one. And trying to sort of sift through that, they don't want to know everything that you know. They want to know what you know in the context of what you're being asked to put in the assignment, but how you apply it. We'll talk later about the CIM magic formula, which defines very clearly what you're expected to do in terms of concept and theory, application, evaluation and presentation, and it differs across the levels. But what is important is none of the examinations, none of the subjects simply give you marks just for dumping knowledge. What you have to do is to apply the knowledge. You have to evaluate recommendations that you made, evaluate what the organisation are doing at the moment. So I'm afraid knowledge dumping will not get you through. You need to demonstrate understanding of the syllabus and the concept and theory, but you need to take it a little bit further than that. I think that's a very important issue. Okay, and people only access the conscious learning. As with the examinations, you would think in an assignment you've got time to access that unconscious learning that's taking place, that information hidden away, but no, people just start to sort of put down what's in their mind at that point in time. Okay, can I move on from that really and move on from giving you my opinion and really ask what the two of you feel about it? Do you have any particular views on what I've talked about? I know, Jack, we were talking before about learning and about different types of learners, the global learner and the sort of linear collecting bits of a jigsaw learner. Do you want to explain a bit about that concept?
So what I sometimes find is that students learn in a couple of different ways. One group of students, they like to get the big picture first of all. So they like to see how all the different aspects of a course or a topic all fit together, so they can see, you know, its wider role, etc. And then what they do is they start to delve into specific aspects of it. So they take this wider knowledge, if you like, but not necessarily very deep, and then they go into specific aspects and really deepen their knowledge of those individual aspects. Other students, on the other hand, need to really go into the detail, first of all, on a narrower area. So they learn all about that narrower area, then they move on to another one and learn all that, then they move on to another one and they learn all that. And sometimes what happens is they don't get the real wider picture until they've narrowed down all the individual parts. And it is like doing a jigsaw, in that when you start off doing the jigsaw, you've got various individual bits of it. But it's not until you put the last few pieces in, and then you go, now I see how it all fits together. Whereas, you know, the global people are more, I can see how it all fits together, now I need more knowledge. And it's not that one approach is right or wrong. Both of them are useful because they both get to the same position at the end. I think it's just really a case of students understanding what their preferred method is, because then, you know, they can make sure they get the types of things which will help them to do that, so they work more towards that side of it.
Their own style, so putting that together with what we discussed before.
Yes, absolutely.
And then devising, it's managing your own learning rather than just taking what's being given to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but I've had the same experience. I've been running a 10-week course. At week 9, somebody comes up to me and says, "That's great. That all makes sense now. That was the last bit of the jigsaw." Yeah. And I found that very strange that they've gone through 9 weeks or 10 weeks nearly with not having any real understanding, but suddenly that magic bit of the jigsaw.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kathy, we were talking about time management as well, and I know you've got some sort of very strong views on time management, because as an examiner you see lots of examples of students who just don't finish the paper, do they?
Yes, that's right, and they miss out really on valuable marks. There's no way that you can pass a paper by doing a really brilliant part B, for example, and not really tackle part A enough. You can't pass on just doing a few of the questions. You're much better off trying to tackle every single question and give it a stab, rather than just concentrating on one section and then running out of time.
The problems with time management, because when I invigilate marketing examinations, marketing people right up to the last minute, and you have to wrench the pen off them almost to start writing. Yet I see other examinations that people sit there half an hour before the end of the examination, arms folded, they've finished, and perhaps the CIM examinations are too long, I don't know, but people do. It's this last question syndrome, isn't it? You know, I don't quite get there, but I've started it. I won't finish it, but I might get a few marks on it, because they put all the effort into the earlier questions which they feel confident about, and think, I'll keep writing about this. But if you've already got a good mark for one question, writing more about it won't get you many more marks. You're better spending that time stopping at that point, going on to the next question, and making sure you balance your effort across the board. Yeah. Right, anything you want to ask me? Anything I can expand upon in terms of what I've talked about so far about learning?
Ray, have you got any suggestions as to how students in practical terms can try and move up to that state of unconscious competence?
Yeah, that's a good question. What you're trying to get towards is a stage where people do things without thinking. It's the unconscious takes over. So it's practice, isn't it? It's actually applying it. It's not trying to remember lots of facts and concept and theory. It's about doing it. So doing past paper questions is a great way. The more you can do, the better. It's not just past paper questions are not just there to test your knowledge, they're there to test application as well. And if you apply it, it makes sense. Going back and taking a concept and applying it in the workplace. So yes, we've talked about a pestle analysis or Porter's 5 forces. It's going back, doing it. Do it on your own company. It's then embedded in the unconscious. Doing mock exams as well. So when you've done a mock exam, you'll go through the pain then, not on the real day of the exam and make mistakes then. Make the mistakes in the mock. Get used to what it's like and learn from that. And when you go into the exam on the day, it's easy. You've done it before. It's just part of what you do unconsciously without thinking about it. Okay, Jack, can I sort of hand over to you now, and could you sort of pick up some of the issues we've discussed already and look at how this can be applied to the postgrad diploma level?